Hi, my name is Heidi Richard, and I am an LPN at Copley Hospital in the emergency department. And I am here today to talk to you about the importance of formal splint training in the ER for LNAs and emergency room technicians. Next slide. The agenda for today will be to go over the current issues with our current splinting process, and we'll hit each of these bullet points separately and independently in a moment. We'll come up with a solution, which is a formal tech training protocol, and we'll discuss the budget, the conclusion, and then I'll open up the floor to any questions. So next slide. In our current situation, we have inadequately trained healthcare professionals such as technicians and licensed nursing assistants, or LNAs, applying splints to orthopedic injuries in the emergency room. And because of this, we're ending up with reduced patient safety outcomes. And according to the Journal of Emergency Medicine, when taught incorrectly, this leads to variability in the quality of the plasters applied and its main purpose of immobilization and anesthesia lasting to follow-up being forgotten. Next slide. Also, by having inadequately trained healthcare professionals applying the splints, we are ending up with long-term health risks for the patient. There is long-term and short-term risks. The patient ultimately suffers from this with loss of independence, loss of range of motion, loss of mobility, and also they suffer from an impaired body image due to disfigurement and an improperly healing wound and longer healing times. And also a very serious condition called compartment syndrome can result from an inappropriately applied splint or cast. And sadly, the effects of compartment syndrome may be irreversible for the patient, ultimately ending the patient with another surgery that may have been avoided had the splint been applied correctly the first time. Next slide. Incurred facility costs due to, again, undereducated staff knowing the equipment that they're dealing with and how much or what they're going to need, or the cost of it to the facility. A lot of material is wasted. Over 6,600 tons of waste are generated per day by hospitals nationwide, and a great majority of this is hazardous medical waste. So again, with proper training, we can eliminate this waste. Staff utilization. By having techs and LNAs that are unprepared to handle splinting, the RN is then unable to delegate this task to them. And by not delegating basic nursing procedures such as splinting, the nurse's proficiency rate at her job is then decreased by 40% per shift. So solutions to this. Our project does propose some solutions. The first solution is having a formal staff training so that all the LNAs, the technicians, and the nurses that they're working with are properly educated on splinting, what splint, when, how, and why we are doing the procedure. This training can be accomplished through competencies, in-services, or continuing education credit hours for the healthcare professional. Also, we are going to offer teaching. The representative from the splinting company that we have chosen can come in and do demos for the staff, again, for the tech, the LNA, and the nurse, again, to make sure that the splint is correct. And also equipment. In order for this procedure to work and this project to work, we're going to need new equipment that's easier to use, more reliable, and more cost efficient. So we decided to go with the orthoglass system, which we'll explain in a moment. Next slide. The equipment. The orthoglass system is easier to use. It's a highly versatile system. It has a faster drying time and a less wasted product, again, to reduce the incurred facility costs that we spoke of earlier. And it comes with measurements on the rolls so that we can eliminate waste as well. Next slide. Teaching. Teaching is the most important thing we can do to improve the splinting results in our emergency department. With proper teaching and education through the models that I explained earlier, we can improve long-term patient healing, improve staff utilization, reduce the need for surgery, reduce patient out-of-pocket expenses, and reduce potential lawsuits from the patients. Next slide. Budget. The proposed budget for our project is $150,000. $60,000 of that goes towards the vendor cost of the actual orthoglass splinting station itself, and then another $50,000 is delegated to the hardware for that splinting system, which is your splints, your ACE wraps, measuring devices, and then we'll need another $10,000 for the splinting manuals and training CDs for the staff. And then we'll have a project manager who will be hired on half-time for 6 months to complete this project of getting everybody trained. So that person will need a budget of $20,000 to do so. And then we'll have a project trainer, which is a person on the grounds, on the front lines, working in the emergency room, and also training the other LNAs and technicians at a cost of $5,000. And then, of course, we'll have to pay those staff members to attend the trainings to the tune of another $5,000, bringing us up to that total of $150,000. So, in conclusion, formal splint training equals safer and more affordable healthcare. Implementing a formal splinting training process in the emergency room can be a very consuming task. It will require a supportive staff and a collaborative team effort. We are eager to work with you to develop a splinting program and better equipment that will fit the needs of our busy emergency room department. It is our goal to help ensure you, our staff, and our patients a smooth transition towards a safer and more affordable healthcare. Now I'm going to open up the floor to questions, if anybody has any questions. Thank you.